So the WNBA All-Star Game is in Indiana. Maybe not. Maybe not. I mean this. Maybe not. I genuinely think we're gonna see a boycott very soon. I think we're gonna see a boycott very, very soon. The WNBA has given credibility to people that make up fake lies online. They've given credibility to the people that made up lies about a fan base just by spewing hate. And by the way, what they've done, they made a statement apparently. So basically, what happened yesterday was a person who pretended to be at the Indiana Fever game said there were noises of a certain animal played towards Angel Reese. Where if it was true, then not only should not be an investigation into it. If it happened and apparently it was on camera, if this was true, not only should there not be an investigation, the MC who played those noises should be banned for life. Never be allowed into a WNBA arena again. The fans should be banned for life. They would have been kicked out on the day. We all know the fans would have been kicked out today for making noises of a certain animal. Making noise of a certain animal towards a player, especially a player of color. We know if somebody did that, they'd be kicked out straight away. We all know that. Anyone with rational sense knows that if that happened, they'd be kicked out straight away, banned for life, and rightfully so. If an MC did it, they would have been publicly ousted and fired from their job. And we all know that. But we all know that would have happened. And do you want to know what the funniest thing is? It's like they have literally given credibility. They've then basically come out and say they're investigating. Do you want to know why they're investigating? Because a person pretended to be at the game and said a noise was made when it was a Flight Reacts GIF. Do you want to know what happened? They heard the Flight Reacts GIF on their screen, pretended to be at the game, and it went uber viral. So the WNBA have now just basically said, you know what, you can lie and it goes viral and we're going to investigate it. Scott Agnes here saying there is no allegations. There are no allegations. Like, they're investigating nothing. There are no allegations. They are literally investigating. Waiting to learn more. I had to ask the league what the statement was about because nothing is known or said. There are no allegations. They just made a statement. And I've said it again. The WNBA and WNBPA, it has no place for hate unless it's towards Caitlin Clark or her teammates. That is a fact. They have made that statement well and truly clear. But now you've got a big game in Indiana. And not only that, because the WNBA have come out and said that they're investigating a fake rumor on Twitter where the account had to go private because they had to make a statement based on no allegations, not done an investigation and made a statement, had to make a statement straight away and say we are investigating this when nothing happened. The WNBA has given credibility to people made up lies to justify hate. Do you remember the journalist last year that came online and said that the Indiana Fever fans cheering it didn't sound like they were cheering their team. It felt like hate. It felt hateful when they said they were cheering Caitlin Clark hitting a 3-point shot. That is it. That is literally. That's what happened. Caitlin Clark hit a 3-point shot. The fans erupted, and it apparently it was hateful. So yeah, I just can't. I always say, and I've always said this, when it comes to this type of stuff with the fans, the reason why I'm so passionate about this is that this is not simply put weird social media things. This is something the league has just given credibility, branding an entire fan base as something that they're not. An entire diverse fan base, whether it be ages, genders, race, the most diverse fan base in the WNBA, branding them as something they're not. They've given credibility to disgusting people branding kids as this. When it starts with innocent kids just wanting to watch their favorite teams play basketball. And I'm sorry, there's heckling, there's boos. That's going to happen. It's sports. It's sport. Like, I know most of these people have never watched sport before. They just saw that Angel Reese did that to Caitlin Clark, and Angel Reese got some hate online for it. So now Caitlin Clark is now their face of we're going to abuse Caitlin Clark. We're going to give Caitlin Clark and everything around her as much abuse as possible. We're going to use her to spread hate. And you know what? It's worked. And I don't think they have given credibility to the fact that Indiana is a dangerous place for players to play. And I'm sorry, the WNBA cannot have in an all-star game in a place that's dangerous for players to play. They can't. I mean that. Is Indiana dangerous to play? Hell no. But according to the WNBA, it is. According to the league, it is. And the embarrassment that was the journalist saying that last year, and the embarrassment from Aja Wilson saying, "Oh, I don't know, it wasn't nothing happened in the city. I don't like Indiana. Nothing happened in the city." And I mean, it just felt like something was going to pop off. Why? Because they're actually a crowd. They're actually basketball fans. You know what? Kids are normally the loudest people in the crowd in situations. Like, the kids are normally the loudest people. And yeah, it's an absolute embarrassment. And I hope that the WNBA are happy, because I think that right now they have backed themselves into a corner by acknowledging a Twitter troll who pretended to be at the game yesterday and started, because they heard something on the TV that was a Flight Reacts meme and reel, and thought that it was something else. Dave Portnoy is going to he's not going to get a lifetime ban. He's just going to be told stop showing up. He's going to get a letter to say stop showing up, because Dave Portnoy didn't do anything. He doesn't or has not done anything wrong. You can't ban someone for it, but he's 100% going to get a letter. Just like, what's his name was told to stop. Pat McAfee was told to stop. Because it's fine, you know, for certain people to call Caitlin Clark a B word as a negative, but like, he used Pat McAfee. In fairness, he was wrong to just use that as a term for a person, and he was completely wrong for that. But now suddenly he's not talking about it. He's not allowed to talk about it anymore on ESPN. He's a multimillionaire, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, they've now backed themselves into a corner, because the WNBA acknowledging the online Twitter trolls while also not acknowledging the fact that, again, the majority of the abuse from those same people that were perpetuating a lie towards Aaliyah Boston, Sydney Colson, Dewana Bonner, Bree Turner, Kelsey Mitchell, and Natasha Howard, while ignoring that and making sure that they're ignoring that. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way, if the Indiana Fever or the WNBA have now branded Indiana as unsafe. And we've seen it. We've seen it on Twitter. Rival fans trying to get Indiana. I've been trying to get this All-Star game moved from Indiana since September. As soon as the All-Star game is announced, and I said this back in the day, you know, Aja Wilson making a point to say that she felt like she wasn't safe in Indiana, playing in Indiana. It is like, it's now a thing where it's like, the WNBA have acknowledged this. They've made it credible. Given it credibility. They've given credibility to the people that made up lies just so that they could spew their hate towards, because Aaliyah Boston, well, she was drafted, but because Aaliyah Boston defended Caitlin Clark, because Dewana Bonner, Tasha Howard, and Kelsey Mitchell chose to play with Caitlin Clark, they're now the enemies. So they made up a lie so that they could abuse those players, because they feel like they've gone against them just because of basketball. Because for these people, it's never about basketball. For these people, it's us versus them, and they believe Caitlin Clark is the enemy. And any players that actively choose to join Caitlin Clark is the enemy. And that's just it. That is just it. That's the reality of the situation. And they've made up a lie that has now gotten to the stage that the WNBA is talking about it. The WNBA are absolutely embarrassing. And by the way, the WNBA can't back down from this. They can't back down. They're not going to back down. There is going to be calls to boycott. And very quickly, the media is going to pick up talking about the boycott. Very, very quickly, the media is going to be talking about a boycott. And as soon as the media talks about the boycott, the players are going to be asked about the boycott. And it's going to take one player. It's going to take one player to give a wrong answer to the media, because let's be real, these players are not media trained. It's not going to be Angel Reese. It's going to take one player to give a wrong answer to the media, and then suddenly every single player gets asked about it, and then suddenly the WNBPA is like wanting to have guarantees, and you can't guarantee anything with a crowd, and suddenly there's a boycott. And that's going to happen in the next week. That's going to happen in the next week. It is it is a bunch of terminally online people who just don't like Caitlin Clark, who made up something so that they could have not only have an excuse to go at Caitlin Clark, but have an excuse. And ironically enough, There wasn't that much abuse thrown towards Caitlin Clark yesterday. It was towards Dewana Bonner, Aaliyah Boston, Sydney Colson, and Natasha Howard, and all these players. Do you want to know why? Because they made a really good basketball decision. LeBron James is thrown into it as well because they fully believe anything around Caitlin Clark is the enemy, and they want to spew hate towards these people. It is an excuse to spew hate towards people by scumbags online, and it has now gotten credibility from the WNBA. So yeah, I'm calling it 50-50 this All-Star game gets moved. Because I'm sorry, if the All-Star game, if there's a talk about boycotting the game, imagine being the player. Apparently, if it's unsafe for people to play in Indiana, imagine being the player that's playing for Indiana that says no. And the WNBPA have already released a statement. If it was just the WNBA and not the players, I wouldn't say anything. But the WNBPA have released a statement as well, which means, you know what? There's a non-0% chance of this happening. And the fact there is a non-0% chance of this happening, knowing what we know about this terminally online league, terminally online players, and terminally online social media team, league execs who are all terminally online, knowing what you know about all them, the fact that there's a non-0% chance of this happening means that, you know what, it's probably going to freaking happen. But anyway, I'll see you guys.